Yeah, let's all start streaming all at once.
Yeah, that's a great way to leak our tactics to everyone in the world.
Yeah, everybody's gonna know now. So.
They just have to be the best tactics ever, so they're
I don't know if Exo should stream.
Should I stop
uncounterable.
streaming them? I
What?
should stop
Why?
Because they know they know
Yeah,
your
You're
bitch.
too popular. The players know you.
Everybody knows me. Fuck.
I'll stop
I have
streaming.
more followers than you.
Okay.
Okay.
Go you, I guess. I don't know.
Is that a challenger?
Trying to flex on me.
Don't make me buy these followers, okay? They always advertise. Let me know all the time.
3 people advertising me today.
Mm-hmm. It was all in a row. So like, yeah, I watched it happen.
That's
Want to
hilarious.
become famous?
It wasn't even like, there wasn't like any break between them. It was like all three sent it at the exact same time.
but the real question
Stay up here
is,
forever, Virgo.
do you want
That's
to become
fire in there
famous?
Here's Oh.
I buy subs.
Damn, you're missing every shot, bro.
But
You're not hitting
You're already
anything.
dead. You're already dead.
Well, you've been dead 3 times over, man. Watch out.
Put me in the other team. That's it.
When rotation
Yeah.
practice
Ground
becomes
barrel,
1v1s.
You're dead.
One headshot's all it takes, bro.
Here's,
None of those are hitting. Yep, none of those are hitting. Yep. Splash damage is on my side.
Kill both y'all. I swear to God.
Can't kill me, bro.
You just got double directed. You're dead. Yep, dead. Yep.
Oh, you just got stuck. You're dead.
Nope. I have an invisible mercy pocket right now. Actually, you guys can't see her. Fate. Now you're dead. Yep. See, look. See, when I tell you guys, you're done.
Nah, it's because you're cheating. No.
Nah, I DM'd it all. I DM'd
Are
everything.
we
All right,
set up?
Okay,
let's focus up. So
Somebody on the map, though.
Aloe won't be here until a little bit later, right? Turbo.
Yeah, well, if that. She said she'll make it if she can make it.
Okay, sounds good.
Because she thought it was optional, Turbo.
Alright, can we get on to our proper roles so we can practice rotation and engagement if we need to?
So, I'm assuming ball comp is like the best thing to play on this attack, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be ball comp with like a secondary comp of double shield, but yeah, ball comp is superior.
We need to restart the lobby.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, we're locked.
Stunky, sorry, my friend.
You gotta be quicker than that. Listen. If that happens, what if that happens in the game?
Oh, wait, hold
They
on.
take our farm.
Yeah.
They take our final.
So attack is gonna be ball pharmacy, or if we're going to, I guess if we want to think ahead to the compositions, will likely start facing to counter our Pharah. It'll be the Zen Brig Echo, or a monkey on a Brig Echo comps. That will be tricky for us.
That's
Just-
what opposing teams might play to counter us.
That's what we've struggled the most against in a scrim environment.
Right. Yeah.
There are other potential counters, and we've actually run into them in match environments, but we've talked about counters already, right? The team we played against Thursday ran the lots of CC composition, right?
Yeah.
Just Hog, Sig, Brig, Ana, or Brig, like Brig Zen, and they just try and counter our ball. All we have to do is make the swap towards Brawl, or just continue to use Pharah as a super oppressive way to keep them in check. So the compositions that are most fluid and are able to flexibly counter us are going to be the Echo comps. The primary reason for that being Echo doesn't require Mercy to pocket. So if Echo takes the duel with our Pharah and we're running a Mercy, it's going to be 2v1 right? Where the Echo doesn't need to get the kill. She has the burst potential and the capability to get the kill, but she doesn't need to. She just needs a pack from her Brig, and then it's a 5v4 on the ground while we take a 2v1 in the sky. So there are ways to adjust to that style of play, but it would take a lot of practice against Echoes for Virgo and Aloe to like balance and juggle their responsibilities in the sky, as well as providing support.
So the traditional ball comp match up well against that, like those echo comps.
Yeah, in fact, we could just run the mirror or practice the mirror of Zinbrig Echo, which moving towards higher SR scrims, I guess now would be a great time to get a feel for how far you guys want to go. Is this
Okay.
are we determined to go to the finals?
Yes, GM, go. Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that $50 pack.
All right.
Are you suggesting we lose?
Yeah,
No,
we can
I'm trying to get a read on how much we're gonna dedicate into these playoffs.
We're the best team here, so it's not like we can lose. So.
Okay. Let's start off then on the Zinbrig Echo and scrims. But if we test the waters, will this be second map?
Yeah, this will be second.
So it'll be second map? Okay. So we should have a read based on Nepal. I guess Nepal teams can get away with like Brawl or 6-man, and we won't really know if they've got a ball comp as a backup.
Yeah, right.
Whereas like 6-man is a default comp on what was it? Boost. It was Oasis, right? That we ran into a
Yeah.
lot of zombie goats.
Yeah.
So we won't get a read necessarily on their ball comp out of Nepal. Maybe a small read. So I think in Scrim this week we come out on the Zinbrig Echo. How comfortable are you on the Echo, Virgo? Because the other option is a Cass or like Ash in that slot, and we play to counter the Echo, or play a Sombra and we just play at a really high tempo where we get more value than the Echo's able to get.
So I've literally only been practicing Farah and Sombra the last
Okay.
2 weeks. So if it's optimal, I don't mind starting to practice the Echo, but I'd much more prefer to either run like Kree or Sombra, like you suggested.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. That's fair. And I
like
think
the Sombra option too.
I think the Sombra is going to be the best option because as soon as we introduce a cast into the mix, we have another squishy we have to defend. Whereas the Sombra is very fluid, and that means Aloe can exclusively focus on protecting Exu in our backline. So we just hard grind the Sombra ball comp. With that said, let's practice the Sombra rotations on this map.
So I guess I kind of misunderstood. Are we just setting the Sombra to be like our main go-to comp from now on? Is that the plan, or are we just trying to practice this song?
I think that ball comp in general is like our main go-to, and that'll differ between the Pharaoh ball or the Zen ball.
Yeah, so Virgo, to answer your question, we want our default ball comp with the Zenbrig Sombra to be strong enough that we can beat teams without the Pharah. And then, if we recognize a team isn't strong against Pharah, right, they aren't able to play the counters, we can utterly destroy them with the Pharah comp. Does that make sense? So if it's more of an in the moment recognition of, hey, the Pharah comp is going to work really well against this team and their style of play. And by this point, you guys should be maybe recognizing those compositions. What compositions does Pharah thrive against?
No hit scan comps.
No hit scan, maybe even one hit scan comps, right? We've had success against double hit scan comps at this point. Generally, what is the composition run around the single or double hit scan when we've had success?
Some sort of brawl.
Yeah. And that gives so much freedom to our ball, to our diva, and especially to our backline to maneuver around the map. right? So it's not just about the Pharah, it's about our backline rotation. So if we run into those compositions, we can spam our Pharah comp. And it's worth still being comfortable on it. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Yeah, I think potentially for the map, if we're playing Nepal first, I think we like to play fair on some Nepal maps. So we could like start out with the fireball and get a sense by the time we get to Rialto. Like you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. In Rialto, we will eventually have to make a transition to the break composition or to a brawl towards third point. Most likely in playoffs. Unless we're just absolutely dominating and we cruise through third point with a farm.
Yeah.
Alright, let's...
immediately after capping second, swap. Unless we have like barrage then.
Yeah, so there's one fight on third point where we have a pretty free win if we've got like a slam barrage engage, right? It's like that mid ground fight, midpoint fight where Pharah can go over left buildings, attackers left buildings, and just get a free barrage off. But as soon as we have to start engaging into room, unless we use trance to break that chokehold, it's tough, and we have to just wipe. So generally, some form of brawl is going to be better at that, whether it's the brig form or like a standard brawl. Let's practice the brigs and rotation then on this map, so we can be prepared and have it ready if we need it. Our other option, I guess, that I want to propose is the double shield Hanzo Ash or like Hanzo Kree, because we've been playing that and we've been doing well in scrims with it, and it is extremely strong on this map.
How do you feel about how do you feel about the like Sigma ball comp that kind of plays a little like
It's
double
a
shield?
little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to start incorporating the flexibility of a Sigma and on certain maps.
Yeah.
I hesitate to... You're just going to have to pick up a lot of rotation work on the Sigma if we start playing it now. And you can be extremely flexible. What do I mean by rotation work?
Yeah.
So understanding when and where to take high grounds, when and where to play with your supports, how to take space with your balls and gauges. Sigma is almost as nuanced as Diva, though mechanically less intensive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So extremely high skill ceiling, I should say, is the right way to put it in ball comp.
Yeah. I feel like in some situations though, it's just like more instinctive to me. Like.
That's fair. And with these narrow corridors, right? Like Sigma gets so much value from his shield, from his left clicks, if they're stacked.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that on attack, I think. If we were going to run it on defense, I think we run Orisa instead of the ball. Unless Traffic is extremely confident in his ability to juggle cart with you and like hold space. Which could...
I agree with that.
Does juggle cart like?
Okay, so let's say your Sigma goes low on resources, loses his shield, loses his shift, and needs to drop off of cart at an extremely important corner. Right? So
To contest?
Yeah. So like on this corner defensively, where your brig is right now. Let's say your Sig goes down on resources, and if we give up this corner, what are we giving up?
Everything. Like high ground and...
Yeah.
If we give up this corner and lose a fight, do we get a second fight?
No.
Not a good one.
Not a great one, right? And where's the best possible place to hold on first point?
Around where you are right now.
Is this corner, because it's so hard to get engagements through the archway. Right? Extremely defensible location. So recognizing those positions, Traffic, and being able to toggle cart for your Sigma.
I mean, if Turbo just says, "Hey, can you Traffic? Can you handle with cart, like for like a little bit?" I feel like they can do that.
Okay. part of it is also going to be managing your cooldowns if you do that, right? Because at any point in time, if Turbo yells, hey, I can't hold cart, you have to be able to either juggle, ask someone else to juggle, or something else. So I think let's move forward with this because we've got a lot of options, and let me know if this works for you guys. Let's start out with, in our first scrim this week, if we can play Rialto, let's start out on the double shield attack that we've been running with either BAP Mercy or Zen Mercy and the double poke DPS. That'll be our initial rollout on this map. Again, if we can get a team that's comfortable on like ball comp or something like that to test us as we push with the double shield, that'd be great. I know that may not be an option. But let's walk out on the double shield
Attack or defense?
on attack.
Oh. You want to start double shield on attack, not ball comp?
Yes.
Yes. I think that gives us the best opportunity to take hold and cap first and second, given the way we've played it and the rotations we've taken on Havana. I'm
Yeah,
open to.
Say I wasn't there.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So part of the reason I want to try this composition out of the gate on maybe Monday scrim, is everyone available for Monday scrim tomorrow?
Yeah.
Is to get a feel for it before we like really focus on it, maybe Wednesday, and say, hey, could double shield work here? And if the answer is no in the first 30 seconds, we just switch towards ball comp. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, I'll present that as one option. The other option is we open on the sig ball composition out of the gate here with Briggs and backline. Out of those two, what would you guys rather start on? What feels more natural? What feels like it would work more of the time?
What are the two options?
The first option is
Double shield, Zen Mercy or Bat Mercy backline with poke DPS. That's the first option. Second option is pretty much standard ball comp that we've been running, either without the Pharah in scrims.
So with the Sigma
With the Sigma.
or with Diva?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
like
I'm
that
more
one.
comfortable on ball comp. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is that consistent with the rest of you guys? Exu, Stunky, Virgo?
Works for me.
sounds good to me, dog.
So we'd have Ball Tracer, and then we'd have what? Sig, and who's other DPS and supports?
Ball Tracers and Brig. Tracers Sombra. If we're gonna run the Sigma, I'd like to run. Yeah, I think we run Mercy Hanzo.
Nice.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too, honestly.
Augers.
Okay, let's commit to that. Does that work for everybody?
Am I on
Yeah,
the Zen or am
I
I
don't-
on the BAP?
You're on Zen
Or-
here.
Zen Mercy. Hanzo Sombra.
Yep.
Hanzo Tracer.
This is an extremely greedy composition that will pay off if they aren't comfortable
Yeah.
on dive.
I was gonna
If-
say, like,
if-
this is
If they're comfortable on dive, we have to make the swap towards a more defensive backline. If we're getting like hard pressure, right? If we're keeping people alive and we're winning, then we just run this comp. So
this
Wait,
is
would Virgo be on Tracer
basically
here?
what's up?
Would Virgo be on Tracer here?
Or some.
Either works. Tracer is gonna give us more help for traffic.
Yeah.
Your
I know Virgo's.
your Tracer is good, Virgo.
Yeah.
I guess, how are you feeling about it at this point in time?
I literally haven't touched Tracer in like a month now, or since I just completely swapped.
Okay.
Not even in comp or KP, so I don't know how it would
Yeah.
look, but
we could try it and
this is the comp we want
I
to
think
go
it's-
for.
I- Yeah, I think it's worth trying because we know your mechanics are good. Like we've all seen you play Tracer.
Yeah. And Sombra is not a bad option in this composition. Your playstyle, Virgo, is just more oriented around EMP. This is a heavy poke style ball comp, where Traffic and Virgo are looking to create space for Turbo, Stonky, and our backline to take it. Right? So it's not a full dive, it's more of a hybrid of the two.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm down to go on the tracer then.
So in this comp, I'm not trying to get like the dive I usually like. I'm just rolling through and getting slams. when I
You're
can.
looking for disruption, and you're looking to clear spaces for Turbo to take them. Okay,
Okay.
so that could mean booping the enemy main tank out of position, whether it's an Orisa, even a ball or a monkey, getting them out of position, and Turbo being aware of that and taking that space immediately, right? Filling in the void.
Yeah.
Think about rolling through a space and you create like a power vacuum in it, traffic, or you engage in a position and they have to peel back to support their backline. You're not going for kills necessarily. You're looking for kills opportunistically with Virgo. But the more important aspect is getting our backline and our strong poke into a position to win the fight for us. So we're counting on picks from Stunky, picks from Exu, and ultimates, right? You're trying to farm mines as fast as possible as a win con.
But mines is not the only one.
And with that being
Good.
said, it's gonna be. We have to really, like, peeling for me is gonna be fucking hard.
Yeah.
This comp, so Turbo.
Well,
I'm sorry.
This
so
comp-
we'll have like a kind of a core, right? So it'll be
Yeah.
stronger right here.
This comp is not a dive comp primarily. That's just not it. The ball tracer, ball sombra are the space creation, and the
Yeah.
core and the kill potential of our composition is centered around our backline.
Yeah. Kind of plays more like double shield than ball.
Yes.
Right?
So you'll have three people around you, Exu, almost permanently available to support you. However, if they run a 3 to 4 to 5 man dive onto you, we probably need to switch if you're dying and we can't keep you alive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Again, this is a very greedy composition.
I like it though. Especially on
Oh,
this,
yeah.
especially on this map.
Greedy not being a bad thing. I should clarify that. Greedy is not a bad thing. It's just, in fact, it's one of the most powerful tools and compositions in Overwatch, a greedy composition. But if the enemy exploits it, then it's not a great comp, because we're just going to start losing them.
So what is the exploit?
The exploit is perma-killing our backline without us being able to peel. And this solution is just to swap towards Brig, and potentially onto Cass for Stonky.
Yeah.
That's a very simple switch.
Yeah, I like that.
We're already about 30 minutes in, and we haven't started even talking about rotations. Let's start on this composition tomorrow with an almost immediate swap towards Briggs in Tracer Sombra if we need to. Okay? If it's just immediately not working, and reevaluate then. But for now, let's.
Point is brawl.
With this composition,
Probably go brawl.
we could continue into third point with it, because again, you're not going too deep into third, and we could play for like a hard trance engagement through choke with Gravflex. But if that fight doesn't work, then we switch.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. So let's talk about rotation. Everyone cool with where we're at comp-wise?
Yeah.
Happy to... What's up?
Oh, go ahead. I'll finish.
I'm happy to address more comp questions or ideas later, but it's probably going to be beneficial to start working through rotations.
I was gonna ask, like, how bad do you guys want to win this?
They're really, really bad.
Because we could, like, try to ask for a later date from the other team, and then just scrim every day from tomorrow until then.
Yeah,
Can we
man,
not
that's
scrim
nice.
Thursday if we're gonna do
Yeah,
that?
I won't be able to do it Tuesday, so
Okay, so it's same schedule then.
back to Monday, Wednesday,
It's
Friday.
okay, so never mind.
Alright.
Same schedule, but
I
if...
don't want to win it that bad. Okay. I
Well,
get
we
it.
could ask for a later date, then scrim Friday, which would be one extra scrim day, and then do it like Saturday.
We'd have
But
to run by
then
hour
mean that there's
for
not a
you guys
1 day
to-
gap. There's not a 1 day gap
We-
between the scrim and the match.
We know reckless runs. They have.
I can look.
We don't have any scouting
Their-
yet. I didn't look.
Let's just say it
but
was
we
their
can definitely do
VOD from their last game.
that. Yeah, I don't know.
'Cause or what?
Can
I
we?
think if we're doing this kind of prep work and really focusing on scrims, and the 2 scrims should be enough to get us a lot of prep.
I agree. I think there should be individual practicing going on in between. If the 2-hour scrim blocks, so total of 4 hours, is all each of our players get before the match, I don't think that's enough. If you're even just playing quick play, like for an hour, that could be great to sharpen mechanics and stuff like that. Which is, I mean, you guys already do that. You guys already play Overwatch outside of Scrum, so I'm not worried about that. For the moment, maybe we can just jump into rotations, and talk about logistics, stuff like that afterwards. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
I don't know if this has to do with rotations. I just found a good rollout that maybe we all could like go with. I don't know if this is good or not. Basically I just roll. Oh, you want me? Okay, I'll just do it. So I roll through like up here, and then I slam back here.
That's fine. Yeah.
Which I don't know, like if you guys could do something with that. Maybe like the. Oh wait, never mind. When I first found that out, I was thinking about it with a Pharah, and I thought the Pharah could be like in the back, waiting for the slam.
Your Tracer could be staged
But,
for slam.
That's true. That's true.
Ball Tracer engages, it can be as deadly as a Pharah engage, especially if the enemy has shields or DM. Right? A Tracer can slip past a DM or a shield much more easily than a Pharah can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And feel free to shout out potential rotations that have worked for you guys in the past, even if it's a flank angle that you want to take Exu. Or Sonky, same for you. If there's a flank angle that you know you can kill people on, or you have a high potential to kill people on, ask for it. Same for you, Turbo. If you see an opportunity to look for an off angle, you could ask Virgo to take cart. That's the other benefit of having 2 ridiculously mobile heroes in the composition. If our backline doesn't need to be on cart, or could get more value off of cart, we should be rotating off of cart.
Okay.
Very important. Okay.
Okay, how do you want to do rotations?
I'll give a general overview and take any brief questions or ideas. And then maybe we can go over nitty-gritty stuff at the very end. But I do want to cover all 3 points if possible today in a timely manner. Okay. So out of the gate, what do we have to do immediately? Where does first fight usually take place on this map?
Depends where they're playing.
Which-
One of these corners
Yeah. What do we have to clear, or what is the most threatening position
up there.
as we're pushing cart to initial corner? Yep, great. So
Grand Hotel.
who is the only person we need pushing cart at this stage?
Okay, so
Me.
It's probably our Sigma, right? So Sig can be peeking with shield. Do we want our full backline stacked behind cart hiding?
Oh.
Why not?
What happens if one of us gets like shot in the fucking leg?
That would
Then we die.
it would hurt, right? You'd die from a pinky toe
Where do we
shot.
go if it's not behind us?
There's also off angles.
Yeah. So once we get cart to first corner by helping Turbo, by helping Turbo get it across, keeping harmony on him, potentially even pocketing with Mercy, right? Turbo, you're going to help support cross bridge, right? So this could be considered a stage 1. We get cart across, and then supports, you rotate right side of bridge. Because if we swing left side of bridge, you're exposing yourself to top flank, right flank, window flank, top flank, and left flank at the same time, right? If we cross right side of bridge, the only thing we have to really be worried about is like a hook or like somebody peeking and looking for boot. So as long as we've scouted our angles, the right side cross should be fairly safe, right? Any questions on stage 1, which is just getting cart to corner in our support rotation? Okay.
Pretty straightforward.
Cool. While this is happening, traffic, you and Virgo are moving pretty fluidly here. You can be going wherever you need to set up an initial engage. Your objective with this initial engage is to clear this corner in some capacity. Okay? If you need to clear the high ground first, that's your job, right? Let's say they have an Ashe, a Hanzo, a Widowmaker on that high ground. That needs to be dealt with. They can't just hang out up there. Likewise, let's say they have a Hog or something like that, maybe a DPS. This high ground in Holloway should be scouted at this stage. So in your initial rotations traffic, maybe you can come out of top, or Virgo, you can come out of top right window and just clear this high ground. Okay, so we don't have to worry about it. And coming out of that top right, Virgo, will also allow you an easy engage onto bridge if you need to, right? Let's say a Widow peeks right side bridge. Easy engage onto bridge, easy engage into mini room if you need to, and also a 1 blink engage onto opposite high, which will help you clear opposite high.
Which
So-
would be a good way to like lead into it. If I ever do it, you know,
For you to go where?
lead into that rollout that I showed you.
Can you show the rollout
Me-
one more time?
It'd be easy for him to get to it.
Get to the slam. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So that's what our Tracer Ball are doing during stage 1 rotation. The most important thing here is now finding a way to break this corner. So how do we break this corner?
Yeah.
Ideally, Ball...
Like,
That was a hypothetical.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Cart, right, gets to about this location. And at this point, their tanks are going to start contesting. This goes back to what I was talking about earlier, where our backline does not need to stay on cart. So what does our backline do? Stonky dragons their whole team and gets a 6k. Yeah, we take a better angle. We rotate high ground. If we have a damage boosted Zen Hanzo from this high ground, where are they going to play from?
position.
Where are their options to play from if we take this rotation?
Under arc.
Directly under us?
Directly under, beneath arc, or I've seen teams do this, rotating under and they play backside of cart. Okay? So where your mercy is right now. And they just contest cart from the opposite side. Why is this better for us than if they were holding cart from underneath?
The card is moving away from them and towards us.
Excellent. That's huge because if they go down in resources, we don't have to push them. Right? We don't have to hard push and win the fight right there. They have to re-push into us while they're down resources. So at any point, if on offense you guys can flip the map to get on the opposite side of cart, you're at an extreme advantage in the fight. Does that make sense? That's a very general point in Overwatch. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So if they make the rotation behind us, it's a very easy drop. Turbo, you can just drop and hard pressure cart, right? You get an excellent spam angle into room with your orbs. Got to be careful of flank angles, but realistically, all we have to do is drop and take cart. Similarly, if they play underneath us, we have our ball or tracer pressure cart. We're gonna have to reset here, sadly.
Oh,
Okay, I think I missed something. Why is it beneficial for us to swap sides, like swap sides of cart? In terms
Okay.
of positioning?
Like Traffic said, the cart is moving towards us and away from them, right? And they're the defensive team. So if they go down resources, let's say they're playing Orisa Sig or something like that, where it's very easy to tell if they're going down in resources. They lose Orisa Shield, they lose gold, they lose Sig Shift, they lose Shield, right? And they're on the opposite side of cart, so where your Mercy's standing right now. What are their options? What do they have to do?
Contest.
Okay, they have to contest. If they run out of resources to contest, can they back up? If they back up,
Sure, but cart's just gonna keep going.
yeah, cart's gonna just run away. So essentially, we've forced them to have to commit onto us while they're down resources. So it's a very advantageous place for us. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So they have to take a fight in a very, very poor position for them. Okay. Second position they could take is directly underneath us, right? It's a very similar story, but this time we just have to find angles to spam them out. So likely Stonky, this is where you and Aloe would take a longer rotation on off angle to like over here. So from high ground, with help from Turbo, you just drop onto this mega, right? And we make sure to have a peek from maybe our Zen or from our Sigma, so Mercy can get out as needed, right? But this angle with a damage boosted Hanzo onto their backline we'll likely either force them out and over to the backside of point. We get a pick immediately and we can repush, or they're going to go under and behind us, which we've just talked about.
Yeah, I like this angle a lot because to deal with Stonky, they have to go so out of position.
Exu, you can even make that drop too, right? So this off angle can be executed by your Hanzo, by your Zen. If Stonky off angles in this position, Exu, as they start to lose resources, you could drop on opposite side with Turbo. So they start to lose resources, you drop with Turbo towards this mini room and just hard pincer them, right? Between the damage boosted Mercy and the Zen orbs. Okay?
Yeah, I like that.
And at all this time, our Ball Tracer are looking for harassment engages and looking to build mines, looking to build pulse. Your ultimates are the way you secure fights for us, Traffic and Virgo. Okay? And if you end up running the Sombra, it's the same deal. You're just trying to farm the EMP. Sombra works with this comp. So we break this corner. Cart keeps moving. What is the next fight we have to take? If they're smart and they stall Cart out while they die.
Arch.
It's the Arch fight. What are they going to have to do if they've lost the fight?
Rush the
Go across the
compound.
bridge.
This bridge is a death trap against poke compositions, right? So the thing we should be looking for is if we win a fight on that corner, we want to get our entire backline, our entire poke, set up where Turbo is right now. If we have a damage boosted Hanzo / Zen with Sigma on that high ground, hard spamming Rhine Shield or their main tank, as they try and cross, they will not have resources when they get to the choke. So that is our number one priority. Okay? It's an extremely snowbally point. If we can get to that position before their main tank or their main space controller, it could be a ball, it could be like maybe even a diva, gets to this choke. If that's a possibility, even while our Tracer and ball are cleaning up cart, if we can begin that rotation, that's enormous for us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. When they're down resources, this is where Turbo, some of the nuance comes in with Sigma. You need to be willing and ready to just hold W. Okay? Take the space away from their main tank. Walk into them, right? Trust your shift, trust your team to back you, and understand when you're at a resource advantage, and you just walk past this choke. Past the cart with the support. Likely, Exu, if you have trance at this point, it's worth it to secure. Where we trance and we just walk past to their side and call a target.
Okay.
Dragon is great here. We have excellent zoning ults and abilities for this point if we get here with ults, right? Mines is excellent here. So it's worth over-investing into this fight, even over-ulting in this fight to secure, because it's such an obnoxious point to retake. Right? Okay. Second point.
Real quick.
Yeah.
So,
What's up?
Go ahead, Ryan.
It's like you said, it's a pretty snowball situation. Assuming we're able to get up here, like get it in position.
Yes.
What's my plan if they have like full team set up?
Yeah,
ready to
they
hold
get
it?
reset. That's a great question. It's a great question. So let's say we don't win the first fight cleanly on this corner. We're down maybe 3 people, and we only have a couple of people to push cart. So we have to play the cart. We're not able to get set up on that high ground. That's fine. It's just a slightly different second fight for us, where the objective is still to burn their resources and not overcommit, right? We just rotate, as you guys probably normally do in comp. You rotate with cart. If you can get the one difference, you get your damage boosted Hanzo on this left angle, okay, where your Mercy is. This angle for Stonky is extremely difficult to break, and it's extremely threatening because you have a direct angle onto their backline, right? So if their backline is playing from where traffic currently is, they're essentially a free pick, and if they recognize that, where do they have to rotate to play? Or where are they likely to rotate to play? Either back out towards bridge or into these corridors where we can get even more flank angles from our Zen, right? From our Zen, from like even above, right? So the objective here is to take as many different angles onto them as possible. And then once we've whittled down their resources, we're in the same position that we were when we got staged correctly. We got staged onto the high ground. Where Turbo, you just have to choose a time and gauge their resources correctly and just walk. Walk into their tank line. Maybe even conserve your shield and your shift a little bit in that fight so that you have them when they're down resources.
Turbo's low-key
Yeah.
main tanking.
Yes. Yeah, he's sometimes you'll even see like there was a GM meta, it never hit Owl, that was a Orisa ball, where it was just this. Every time ball created enough space, the Orisa would just walk forward like a main
No, I
tank.
did hit Owl once. I remember. I think I did.
Orisa ball?
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting.
I don't remember which team, but I'm pretty sure it happened.
So the objective, it's fluid rotation. If they are able to get across bridge, we're just looking for as many off angles as possible, with Turbo being ready and willing to hold W with probably an ultimate, either Flux, Trans, Dragon, something like that, to secure the fight. Does that answer your question, Virgo and Turbo?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sweet. Good question. Thank you for keeping me accountable, because that's a tough situation to be in. If I guess the final thing I'll address for first point, there are going to be situations we run into where we lose the fight for cart and we have to rotate back into the fight, right? Where they have all of the space and all of the angles. In that situation, I want us to go either left, far left, or left high ground and then drop onto Mega pretty much universally. Does that make sense? We just want to avoid as much poke as possible before actually taking a fight.
Gotcha.
Pretty simple. Just don't walk in their LOS when we don't have to, or we don't have to take a fight.
Shit, he's gone.
Okay.
Right.
Does anyone have ideas for rotations on second point before I jump into my ideas?
With this comp,
Yep.
But second phase is
Hanzo pushes point because he could climb to the high ground anytime.
Okay. Excellent. Why Hanzo and not Tracer? Because that's a good call.
Well,
Sure
because
has to take the
Tracer needs to go be
stairs.
with ball and do stuff.
Tracer is extremely vital to taking space, and we're gonna have to take space to make this rotation along high, right? To be harassing their backline. So, good call. Hanzo and Cart.
And then meanwhile, three of us come this way.
Yep. Which three of us?
Me, Exu, and Apollo.
Okay, awesome. What are our ball and Tracer doing?
They're making it hard for them to take stairs or hitting stairs same time as us, scouting, picking aggro.
Awesome. Yeah. That's pretty much what I had as well. We've what's up, traffic?
Oh no, I was just laughing.
Turbo could just do this. It's pretty good. Yeah, so we want cart pressure. We want to take the space as much as possible, and essentially we want to exploit the same things we did on first point, which is the central high ground of the map. We use that to gain really good positioning on first point. We can do the same on second point. What I'd like to generalize this position to be for this review and for future reviews is the critical point of the map. Where if we can determine the critical point of the map and focus our rotations around it, a lot of the time we'll be either in a good position, a fight-winning position, or a great staging position for our ultimates. What are other critical points you guys can think of in Overwatch?
Gibraltar, like the blue box corner.
Yeah, might be the biggest critical point in the history of Overwatch. That blue box defense. What else?
Eris first point.
Yeah, they just built one into the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, we're just gonna make the defenders the default winners of first point. The same could be said for like Horizon first point, except the critical point is all of defenders high ground around first point, which is ridiculously oppressive. Right? There's a reason those two maps got abandoned. Yeah, so we're looking for the critical point of each section of the map. Generally, the critical point of a hybrid map is going to be a similar position to where we're at right now, which is centrally located and a high ground. And if we can get our backline into that position with semi-decent flank angles and pressure on cart from our ball tracer or even our Hanzo, we're in business. Okay, this is universal stuff. When we get to this high ground, we're going to be forced to take a fight, whether to cross the bridge, right, cross this outer high ground and get to this point. Good teams will make us fight for this space, and we should expect good teams in playoffs. So ball tracer should be looking for an engage while the rest of us pressure across this high ground. That's a timing thing. So Traffic, you ask when Turbo and the rest of our composition, rest of our backline are ready to walk through that doorway that I'm currently shooting at. Say, hey, are you guys...
So say like
Ready, fight
they're like
stairs.
on
Ready,
they're
fight
on
stairs.
stairs.
Yep,
Yeah.
perfect.
And then I'm like, could I just like roll through just like this? Maybe knock some off.
If
high
you get a
ground,
boop and a
slam.
slam, we could just immediately break this chokehold. That would be
Okay.
enormous.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
I would say something like ready to fight stairs, and then you would say okay going when you're going, and then that's when we
Okay.
Very simple comms. Yep.
ready to fight stairs. You say going, then we take the space.
One key point here. Again, Turbo, you're gonna have to make a judgment call. If we get a boop and a slam, you need to be ready to not just hold but pursue on this fight, even if we're potentially down one, right? Because if we just AFK with the rest of our team on high ground while they're down resources, we're shooting ourselves in the foot with this composition. Right? We want to push. We want to keep them from getting those resources back.
What if we have dragon? Can we just do that? Like,
Heck
just
yeah.
go through this bit?
Yeah, we have a lot of options for ultimates to break out of this corridor if that initial cool down rotation doesn't work and we push out. But in general, if you can time your engages with the rest of your team Traffic, so looking for more fights like this, right? Ready to go on stairs, okay, go, that sort of thing. Or ready to go on backline, ready to create space, even those sorts of calls, word for word, can give Turbo a really good understanding of when he should be pushing with cooldowns in this composition.
Yeah.
Okay. So most important fight here is going to be this corner fight. Some teams will fight in weird positions, like maybe even on that corner. If we're playing against a team that fights in a weird position, we just look for flank angles. Because generally, if cart is on a corner like this, there are going to be a lot of flank angles, right? So if cart's in a weird position, we just look for off angles and flank angles. If they're holding in a good position, where cart's about on this corner or something like that, where the hold usually takes place, we have to fight for the critical point and then take that cart push afterwards. If they're a good team, they'll probably die cart, and that means they get a second fight. So if we dominantly win that fight, let's say we have all 6 people alive, where do we want to stage for this recontest fight? How do we want to stage for this recontest fight?
For them walking out of that spawn.
Yep. We team wipe, they're all dead, and we have cart push.
How much time and space do I have? I feel like I might even want to get split angles, make them have to look right and not just easily go to point.
Then I could
Heck
go
yeah.
up here, look for slams.
So who's on cart for us? Do we want 3 on
here.
cart?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for depends how close we are.
That's
I
a
think it's
If we're breaking this corner, like if we just get this corner, like cart's like right here, they all die cart. I don't know about that, 'cause that's
maybe like
Yeah.
2 on cart then. But if we
Oh,
win the
a long
fight and
time.
cart's like here, maybe like here, then we should probably get 3 because I feel like then
Yeah,
we can make
it's-
it.
It's crazy how close their spawn is here compared to ours.
yeah, it's like
Ours is so far away.
Do you guys see where
It's
my
pretty
my
small.
spray is on this corner? If
That's
cart
those 3
if cart is fully past this corner, this is in my best judgment from experience where the cart needs to be passed in order to get 3 on it and cap. Right? If I've won a fight and it's past this point, right? Maybe even half of cart is past this point, so like fully past this corner. We 3 on cart and we get zoning like our Hanzo, Sigma, and maybe Zen, just hard spamming their door, right? And we should get the cap. If we win the fight while cart is diagonal on this corner, we put 1 on cart, likely tracer, and we just take hard flank angles for their re-engage fight. that sound good?
Yeah. Can I play all the way over here if I have time to get over here?
Yes.
Somebody?
Oh yeah, and that also gives you a great scout. The most dangerous thing you can do, I guess this is a good off angle against every composition except for Brawl. Right? If they're on Brawl and you are off angle like that, you're gonna get murdered.
Yeah.
So unless you bait a 6-man engage onto you and we cap cart, which is a 5-head,
Yeah.
like go for it. But
Just like make.
yeah, and that's a great call. Even against Brawl, if you recognize they literally cannot go on you without losing a checkpoint or the map itself, hard off angle, and make them
or
deal with
splitting,
it.
Screwing themselves.
Yeah, exactly. The rest of us just taking other off angles. Actually, if you can be taking, most of the time you'll either be with Turbo or on an opposite off angle to Stonky. Does that make sense?
I spawned all the way back here. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, the spawn. Oh, you guys are at first point spawn.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, that's longer than I thought it was. Now
The
we'll.
second spawn is not that much closer than the first spawn, honestly.
Yeah, it's if you go
Yeah,
out
it
right
is.
door of first spawn, it's like I don't know, it's 10 seconds closer. And then we just harass them. Same deal as first point. We harass them and then force them to take a fight down resources for cart. If they're re-engaging, they're likely going to have to use an ultimate to take the fight, so we need to be aware of that and be willing to use ults in response. This is another breakpoint on the maps where it's worth over-investing into the fight, even if maybe it takes 1 or 2 fights to get back into it for the third point. Because their spawn is ridiculously close here versus our spawn. So if we even lose one player, we're in a 2CP situation where they just get back to cart and win the fight anyway. So that's the situation if we dominantly win the fight. If we are down a few players, likely we're going to have to reset and take a kind of weird fight on this point. So if we go down 2 to 3 players in the fight to take this corner, whoever's left, you guys push card as far as possible, and then you kite away from the 6-man re-engage until we get our 6 people back. And then it's the same story of taking flank angles, putting pressure, and then Turbo you capitalizing on those resources being down and pushing in.
Yeah.
Okay, third point. We kind of discussed third point already. It's fairly simple comparatively to the other 2 points. Somebody other than Turbo. Does anyone have ideas for rotations on this point?
No, never mind.
What are you thinking?
Wait, so
I saw something really basic that probably it was just them on cart and then Twitch and I could go left maybe.
Okay,
There was
yeah,
always just 4 of them.
that's a fine default rotation. Did you have a thought, Virgo?
no, I was just gonna ask, like, are we still talking ball comp, or I thought we were swapping brawl at that point. That's the case.
Yeah, we briefly discussed this at the very beginning. It was brief though. The first fight on second point is a fine fight for our ball poke comp, even if we've still got the Pharah, because Pharah has incredible angles from this roof downward, and even on this composition we can get excellent flank angles on this part of the choke. The problem is this right here. Okay, when cart gets to this position, this is where our composition starts to break down and where Brawl just becomes better. Because essentially, Brawl lets our whole team do what Turbo has been doing this whole map, which is capitalize on them being down resources. When a team goes down resources at a critical choke point like this, having a Brawl and being able to amp past and find a target is extremely valuable in a lot of situations. If we're hard rolling the other team though, and we don't need the Brawl swap, that's fine. We just hard roll them through third point, right? It's not a definitive swap going into third point. It's if we lose one fight while investing lots of ultimates, we make the swap towards Brawl. Is that clear? Okay, good question. Other rotation ideas?
I don't have any.
It's a similar story on this map. Let me rephrase the question. Exu, where are your best flank angles on Zen? Where do you get the best right clicks from?
Oh god. Long corridors, basically.
So specifically on this point, where do you want to be?
Oh shit. Where's the cart?
Cart. Let's say cart is rolling upstairs. I'll play the cart in this instance.
Right here. Where's the enemy team? Are they coming back from spawn like right now and I have time to set up?
We've won the fight at cart, and we're
Okay.
pushing into this point.
So I do have time. I kind of want to play here or where Turbo is.
Okay. Do you have a favorite between those two locations?
Yeah. Probably here, because I have more people to. I have a corner that's really easily accessible that goes away from them instead of side by side.
Yep.
And it'd be easier for people to peel for me. If they have
Would
their
it be
own spot.
easier to peel?
If they're running at me from like all the way over here?
So
Then yeah.
that's dependent on where your peel is coming from, right? So if you're in that position, Stonky, let's ask Stonky, where do you want to be, Stonky, on this point? Where are your best angles?
Can you beat the card again?
Yeah, so carts rolling up these stairs.
I definitely like peeking this a little, especially if they're not too close, like not
Okay.
on cart yet. Just shots into there, shots down long. I guess if we get cart up here more, that's where I would want to switch to. Maybe over here, just straight at them, or just
Yeah. Or maybe
Sweet.
up here.
Yeah, even on back high, that's...
Yeah.
So the issue I had with this choke, Exu, is if you're playing on your own, let's say your Sig and your Hanzo had wanted to take a different position, and this is instinctive stuff in the moment. You guys will default position to where you know you've had the most success in the past, right? So clearing this up early is good. If you're here, Exu, and our backline rotates to left side, and they have like a Tracer, a Doomfist, a Genji, anything like that, peeling for you is really hard. And you don't have a mini in this room except for down the stairs and pretty far away. So this room is not a safe position unless the rest of your team is here or unless they don't have flankers. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. And then as soon as cart gets to a further forward position, yeah, I think you guys could make the full rotation towards window or even the fuller rotation towards mega. We can treat, and I think we should be treating our Zen and Hanzo as the double snipers in this composition. Does that make sense? Where if we have both of our snipers on the same angle, we're getting half the value we could be getting. Because one shield takes them both out of the fight. So getting off angles for our Brig, Brig hitting the whip shots, man. For our Zen and for our Hanzo is extremely valuable in this composition, right? So
Yeah.
if you make the call Exu, or you recognize that they don't have flankers, you could play this right room and tell your Sig Hanzo to rotate left, and that is a nasty off angle if they're contesting card on corner, right? Because our Sig Hanzo Mercy could peek from that window, and you could be like juggling this corner and right clicking, right, and using your self shield regen to stay alive, or just asking your Mercy to play there with you and the rest to rotate. So it's situational, but I think those are great positions for our Sig Zen Hanzo. Cool. So those are the positions we would take or rotate to break or take the first fight. Let's say we immediately lose a fight and they get all of this positioning on high ground. Right? They're all hanging out right here on this high ground. They have free fire onto us. Where is likely the best rotation to get back into this fight? What should we be thinking about doing at this point anyway?
Swapping.
Yeah, if we run brawl and we just walk over them, this position isn't so great. However, it's much more difficult if we stay on the same composition. If we've got Flux, Mines, maybe even Trance, we could take another crack at this point. So if we've got big ultimates, fight-winning ultimates, sure, let's take another crack at it if we've got the time. Otherwise, we just switch brawl. If we decide to take another crack at it, where's our best rotation? where we take the least poke and we don't have to worry about random picks.
Two stairs maybe.
Yeah, stairs left side could be good, or even like more cover is the far right stairs behind Exu. We just rotate into right room. The only reason I say that is it's a longer rotation to left stairs, more time to get picked, and you're crossing an open choke, right? So if you just come up the stairs and you start fight here, you can start draining the resources before the fight even starts. You could have Donkey peek these stairs with Mercy Pocket to get some form of off-angle pressure and to keep them, like, it's an issue if a hog or somebody hard off-angles right here, because he's out of LOS and he could just peek and hook, right? So if we can break that.
As well, so.
Yeah, if you Sonic it and then wait for hook and then peek and just murder him, Stonky, that could be
Always
a play.
Sonic here, and I think it'll catch him.
Yep.
Through here.
Yeah. So team rotates right, Mercy and Stonky rotate left. If we're on Brawl, it's the same rotation, but we just all take right stairs and walk into them with like a Maywall. You solo dragon the lone hog. Final fight. Let's keep moving. Final fight is a lot of the same. We're looking for off angles whenever possible. Maybe damage boost to Hanzo on left side, and then as soon as they're down resources, we try and push through and just over ult, because this is final fight, right? If we over ult and we don't get it, we make the swap towards Brawl. If we do get it, then great. We're into next round. That was a lot of stuff. I want to make sure there's room for retention here, and you guys are comfortable with everything that we've gone through so far. Any questions? Thoughts?
Me.
Is this helpful?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, this is very helpful.
awesome. How different do you think our rotations would be if we were on a Brig Diva instead of Sig Mercy? Drastically different, not very different, the same.
I think drastically.
I think it's kind of the same, because Brig Zen kind of operate the same way as the Sig and Hanzo are here. Sig, Hanzo, Mercy.
Yep, we're just operating
has
with one off
similarities.
angle.
Yeah, but you get a lot more to your back line.
Yep.
That's just the biggest difference.
So
Uh,
similar.
can't hold base the same exact way as
Yeah.
Sigma. I think that's the biggest difference from my point of view. At least.
I feel like we could take
But the
knights a
break
lot more.
helps.
If we do the Diva Brig, we can do a lot more like aggressive fights where like like basically the full team engages.
4-man dive or 6-man dive if you get your Briggs in good position. Yeah. So we have to be more clever with our engagements, our rotations and engagements. But a lot of the backline rotations we take, our Brig and Zen should be taking to get our Brig. Think about where our Sigma was in a lot of those rotations. That's where Brig would get the most value from pushing in and capitalizing off people being down resources. If you're envisioning playing Brig, you don't want to be far away from the fight or on off angle from the fight. You want to be in a place to capitalize on the enemy team going down resources, which is generally where Turbo is going to be in our rotations. So it's not an enormous switch in our backline rotations, and frontline rotations on the ball comp are extraordinarily flexible, because we've got the Ball Diva, Tracer, Sombra at that point, right? We can stage in pretty much whatever location we need to take the space away from them. So as long as you're taking good rotations and rollouts to get into position, we shouldn't have our front line be punished in that situation. Does that make sense? So backline rotations are pretty much the same, where our Brig is our Sigma, our place where our Sigma was. But maybe the biggest difference would be your positioning, Turbo. On the Diva, you need to be in that mid ground where you can go help frontline and also peel for backline as needed, which you've been doing pretty well.
I I think you're gonna like to see my Sigma. I think
I'm pumped.
the aggro timing is very like natural to me. So
I'm pumped. I've been tempted by it, and Moss has been harassing me about running Sigma. So
oh cool.
let's do it. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
cool.
And please, if you guys have, let me rephrase that. If all of the compositional and hero ideas come out of my brain, we are going to be an extremely one-dimensional team. I've been using extremely a lot today. The diversity of brains on our team and the talent of people on our team is awesome. So if you have suggestions, whether it's in rotation or hero selection, please shout it out or DM me or let me know or bring it up, because I'm happy and willing to make those adjustments. As long as it's not maybe ball hog, Lucio, Mercy.
Fuck.
Bash and Moira.
Oh yeah, Bash and Moira works much better. Thank you, Exer. Yeah. Defensively, I guess. Do you guys want to cover defense, or do you want to move on to Nepal? And look at Nepal.
I think
I
for
feel like
the-
our defense is much better than our offense.
Do we want to
Yeah.
stay? What are we running on defense? Because I know.
Fuck off.
I know I've run the Ash before. We run like a.
The Briggs
Double shield.
and
Yeah.
Thing, yeah.
Double shield?
Or it was one shield, I guess. One shield ball,
Ball.
Ash.
Ball sig, Ash.
What are we
Saber,
calling that comp?
Yeah.
Sigma ball comp. I don't know.
Sigma balls.
Okay.
Sigma ball.
Wow.
Let's call it ball sig comp.
Uh,
I don't think so.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to salvage it. Yeah. So defensively, I think we have 3 options. We have full ball comp, so the Brig Zin or like Brigana Farah ball comp. We have double shield, which is the opposite, right? We're playing for poke and not necessarily those diving gauges, and that works defensively. We've run that defensively. Or the hybrid that we just talked about on attack. Out of those 3 options, what feels best to you guys?
wait, can you say
I
three
feel like that's
options?
up to
Which one?
traffic.
So full ball comp, which would either be with the Farah or the Sombra, depending on how comfortable we think the enemy team is. Right? So that's option 1. Option 2 is the hybrid composition, which is the Sigma ball, and so half poke, half dive, the ball tracer, or probably Sombra on defense. Sombra is going to give us a little bit more defensively with hacked megas and stuff like that. And the third option is double shield, same thing we ran on Havana attack or defense.
Well, I don't know how my Rissa is lately. I think, yeah, definitely either of those 2 ball comps. I feel like recently my ball has just
It's been swagging out.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like the full ball comp personally. I think that's the
Very
We haven't even
flexible.
We haven't even tried the hybrid.
the hybrid feels good on attack, but on defense, I feel like I want to be a diva here.
Yeah, a lot more flexibility to control their engages or deal with their engages regardless of composition. It's kind of like running a Brig instead of a Mercy on defense, right? You're more flexible against the compositions they could pull out against us.
Yeah.
So let's plan on full ball comp defensively, and our fights are almost the reverse, or our rotations are almost the reverse of what we talked about on attack, where we're fighting for the critical points of the maps. And the rotations I talked about, the enemy team taking, if they're a good enemy team taking those rotations, are the rotations we should be taking on defense. Does that need further clarification?
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Okay, so for first point, we would want our support line playing from, actually, man. This would be weird. You know what I may do? Because I think it's going to be beneficial to talk about Nepal. It's going to be really important. Our opening map, we need to have solid strats on it. So I think that's more important at the moment.
Yeah, I agree.
But-
I think we can keep this defense for now, for the most part.
I'm going to plan on either tonight or tomorrow doing a very short stream or VOD that I upload talking about defensive positioning. And if you guys go back and just like 2 times speed, go look at where what I talk about and where I'm talking about, then I think that may be the best. So we can get maybe the best of both worlds here. Is that okay with everybody?
We could also just do Rialto, Nepal. What was the other map we wanted to talk about?
There wasn't.
I just said these two
one.
for tonight. Kings Row is the third map.
Oh yeah, no, we're good.
Kings Row has some of the hardest rotations in A, so I don't know.
Yeah.
There's one hallway through second point, and all of the high grounds are hard to get to, so. Yeah.
God, Nepal is also one of my favorite maps. Like Oasis in Nepal, they're just solid maps.
They're just so weird.
Oh, they're just.
Yeah, I'm
all
with
of
traffic.
that-
I think they're weird.
No, Exer is weird.
Last time,
Oh.
last
you
time we were in a game, you said Oasis was like one of your favorite maps.
Me?
City Center specifically.
Oh,
Yeah.
the rest of it? You don't like the rest of it?
I think the rest of it's okay, but City Center I like a lot.
I like Lijiang in Nepal.
Would you guys okay. The 3 compositions I see us using in playoffs are the double shield composition, the hybrid composition, or full ball comp, with either the fire variant or just Tracer Sombra.
Hybrid
really
being
need
the
to-
Sig Hanzo, right?
Hybrid is Sig Hanzo.
And if we really need to bust out the brawl.
Yeah, the brawl will be a response to a team playing a weird composition that we don't know how to counter.
Or if you want to brawl out on Kings Row, you know.
True. Yeah, on the Kings Row. With those 3 compositions once again being our options here, with an honorable mention to brawl, what do you guys think here? What feels best?
Ball comp. I just feel like
Standard ball.
ball comp is just better. Like just in general.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're gonna-
Farah ball comp or normal ball comp out of the gate? What do you guys think?
I think we have a lot of experience on the Pharaoh ball, and like if we had to bust that out on this map, like we probably could real time pretty decently.
Yeah.
But we don't have nearly as much practice on the.
I think it
the
definitely
Sombra
depends on
version.
which map comes up first for Nepal as well. So if we play the indoor one, maybe we don't play the far there, maybe we do.
This
We'll
map,
see what they want to run first.
I see a lot of echoes on this map.
Yeah,
I don't
That's
know
true,
if that
I
was
do
just
see a lot of
coincidence,
echoes.
but this like shrine specifically, especially.
you wanna know potentially why? Because there's a lot of Farah on this map
Yeah.
up until higher elo, right? And then people realize, oh wait, we can just devote one person to counter the Farah and win the fight on point. So yeah, there's that weird transitional echo composition, and then eventually it's just Tracer Sombra is better. So
Yeah, I mean I'm cool with
Yeah,
starting off on the Tracer Sombra here.
Yeah, agreed.
okay, and if they run a Farah, what can we do?
An Echo.
I'll go.
Fired it. We just fired it.
I think we can do either. I think my preference would be switching pharmacy into mirroring because we have so much experience on that composition.
Wait,
Echo or
you said,
C.
oh, if they pharmacy said?
Yeah, if they pharmacy, I think we will be much better off countering it with our own pharmacy than forcing Virgo onto Echo when we've just said that we don't want to be practicing Echo this week.
Come on, Virgo. No, I'm kidding.
Virgo only has so much so much
Actually,
bandwidth.
yeah, before I forget, after the meeting, Energy, can I talk to you about like some
Yeah.
scam stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
You don't think the Tracer Sombra can hold its own against a good fair team though?
I think it can. I don't think we've practiced against a Farah team good enough to challenge it. Because
Right.
again, we have to respect the teams in playoffs. I would much rather go in expecting them to be San Francisco Shock from 2019, every team we play against, and then being surprised that they're that garbage every match, than the reverse.
Yeah. Right.
So let's plan on coming out on the Tracer Sombra on this map with a swap towards Pharmacy if they have Pharmacy. And if they have the Echo, what do they lose if they run the Echo? Do teams usually drop the Tracer or Sombra for the Echo? Why?
Right?
I don't know.
Because I feel like Sombra has more,
Sombra's
more
more-
guaranteed value.
Yeah,
I don't know how to
it's
say it.
fight winning, right? The ultimate is fight winning. Also, you can look at it as uptime. What is Tracer's uptime compared to Sombra's uptime? She's got quite a bit more, right? If you play your cards right on Tracer. Same with Echo. You can be poking, doing damage, using stickies, being opportunistic with your engages. So Tracer and Echo actually share a lot of the same characteristics, which just makes it easier for Tracer players to adapt to Echo, and also, just general uptime. On top of EMP just being a ridiculously good ult. Okay, so with that said, they run an Echo out here. We run Tracer Sombra out. Where are we going to get more value than them? How do we want to take our engages so that we get more value from our Tracer than they get from their Echo?
Indoors? Wait, no. My bad.
I think we want to take a fight first.
Fast. Right? The more opportunity Echo has to output damage, and more importantly, an Echo ultimate is rough, right? The amount of space control, especially if they copy Turbo, is going to be enormous. So if we take the fights before the Echo gets ultimate, or before they have an opportunity to find those beam kills, that's going to be great for us. The other extremely important thing is getting our Brig into a position to get value. Because if our Brig is in there and getting value, while not feeding, then it doesn't matter how much value their Echo's getting, right? If our backline is in an aggressive position. Okay, so with those preliminary things out of the way, and talked about where do we want our backline on this map, our Brig and Zen, where do we want them rotating?
We want them to get close with as little resistance as possible, while still giving Axu good flanks,
Okay.
which I guess depends on the enemy team's position.
Yep. So let's say the enemy positions. Let's say the enemy team runs it down main with Brawl. Where do we want our backline to rotate?
They're
Oh
running it
wait,
down
are
main.
we on point or are we?
We're both teams. This is first fight. Both teams are walking out of spawn.
Oh, mid fight. Oh.
We scout they have Brawl.
Like over here.
Elephant
the
side.
open one? Do I have to cross?
Or this doesn't look as good. It's too much cover for them to get to you.
Yeah.
And you guys drop back further if they try to push out.
Yeah, I feel like you want to approach from this angle.
Yep. I like it. Really,
Because if they try to make a rotation like around, even then.
the disruption and
going more open
engage
space.
from our ball is much easier on this side as well. Right? And that's, I mean, we play against Brawl kind of like we play against Six Man, where we disrupt the engage onto the squishier targets from our composition, and then we counter push while they're down resources. But the resources they're down are different than in Six Man. They're going to be down Shield with Ryan, they're going to be down DM with D.Va if they're running D.Va, or Wall for Mei. Right? Okay, same question, but they run it out on Echo Ball Comp. Where do we want our backline?
And we want more cover. So maybe this side.
Does everyone agree?
Yeah.
Okay, slightly different question. Where do we want our Tracer and Sombra staging against Echo Ball Comp? where do you guys go for initial fight? And that, I guess, ball as well. Where do you three want to stage?
Away from our court.
Yeah, get the hell away from me.
Where is their backline probably rotating? Because that's what we're looking for.
Probably elephant, or if they just stay main, possibly that's a possibility.
Yeah.
The weird thing about this map is all three options are kind of strong because of
A
kiting.
lot of times,
It's either like they stay main because they don't think about taking another angle, or if they do take another angle, it's just gonna be top left or top right. I feel like, but I feel like most of the time it's top left, like the elephant, I guess.
Yep. So we want, first of all, we want to scout, right? Which means, Virgo, you're going pretty deep looking for their positioning early. You're looking for where they're rotating, looking for where their backline is, and then asking for an engage as quick as possible. Because we want these fights quick against them. I should clarify. When I say quick, I want our engagements to be quick, and if we're losing the fight or it looks like we're losing the fight, I want our disengages to be even faster. Does that make sense?
So, do you want me to call that as in just like get out, get out, get out? Like,
This is not your call traffic. This is our Brig and our Zin's call.
oh,
Even our Diva's call. Because in an extended fight, we're going to get the rally, we're going to get the Transcendence, right? Potentially even EMP, those sorts of ults. So the engagements are quick. The disengagements are quick. You could call... What's a better way to explain this? We want to be able to stabilize after our engagements if they don't go according to plan. So this is not an all-in dive. This is not a trade. That's a better way to put it. We're not trading backlines here. We're vying for space control, and we're looking for opportunities for a pick. So we're taking snap engagements with good scouting, and then we're kiting back if those engagements don't work. And then, once again, we're going in. Disengaging if we need to. Going in, disengaging if we need to. A focal point of a disengage could be what? If the enemy team uses an ult. Let's say we engage into them and they pop rally. What do?
fall back.
Or our Tracer pulses their rally and we win,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Terminate,
So
yeah.
we have the two options of immediately kill that ult, that target, that threat, or immediately disengage. If they rally and hard push us and we live, what do we likely have? Our own rally, because we've survived. You can think about this as the coalescence in six-man. The first team to get coalescence only wins if they immediately win the fight. Right? If the second team stabilizes, then repushes with their own coalescence, they likely win that fight. Okay? Slightly off topic, really important information. Is that helpful? For our tempo?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Virgo, you're just doing a lot of scouting at this point, and we're looking for a quick engage from our three frontliners, in addition to potentially Turbo, if you've already scouted flank out Turbo, and you can be staged for that. It's almost like the engage we're looking for is before they're ready, before they're staged. So we want to go. You could even stage extraordinarily, like really deep Turbo, even as far as here if you don't get scouted. So you can be staged for a dive without boosters.
Without boosters, yeah. Yeah, those are great engages.
So much of this is gonna just be fluid positioning for you guys. Maybe a better way to look at this is from the inside out. We want control of point, right? Let's say we're fighting point. Where do you, Exu, and Aloe kite to if you get in trouble or if we need to disengage?
If we're on point,
Yeah, we're on point. We're starting to lose the fight. Let's say the fight is happening on right side of point. Where do we kite to? We start to lose resources.
side?
Yep, opposite side. Let's say they're directly in front of us. Where do we kite to?
Oh god, are we right here?
Yeah, we are fighting point. We start to recognize that we're losing resource advantage. Should we be in this position at all?
No, not really.
Yeah, we're asking to die.
I should never be at the beginning. At the
Okay,
opening. of the
so-
play.
If we're pushing aggressively, that's a great point, a great highlight. If we're pushing aggressively, we're always pushing from a slight off angle. Why? Our disengage on that off angle is much faster than from playing in center. Right? Whether it's towards elephant or towards pagoda or hut side, right? So always pushing from off angle. And whichever off angle we're on, if they centrally push, we just kite to the opposite off angle. Okay, flip side question. We hard engage on point with all 6 members. Tracer, so Stonky, Virgo, Traffic, you guys hard engage, you find a target main right here. Fight starts to go poorly, where do you guys get out to? Or a slightly different question, how do you get out and still have enough resources to go back in 3-4 seconds?
Die.
I mean, I just recall.
Yeah.
I mean, I just.
Yeah.
We both recall.
Okay, if you have to get back into the fight in 3 or 4 seconds, Virgo, where is your translocator?
On somewhere nearby. So either
There, Mega maybe.
the mega here, the mega on there.
Is that a
the mega
safe translocator position?
Maybe not this one, but I think
Okay.
the one back there or the one in the room over there.
Put it in their mega.
This is something we haven't really talked about on Sombra, but a safe translocator position is directly proportional to the amount of time they have to look for it. Right? So if we take a ridiculously fast engage, right, you throw your translocator out on statue and then we hard engage on choke, they won't have enough time. Or if they're off angle, let's say their tracer goes and fights your translocator to destroy it, is their tracer in the fight for the engage? No, right? So you have to be a little more careful when you're engaging with your translocator in a like mid-ground position or a slightly less safe position. But as long as you translocate back within 3 to 4 to 5 seconds, that's fine. They won't have enough time to actually scout it out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can look for those aggressive translocator positions, and it's even more valuable in EMP. If you put your translocator on, let's say this high ground that I just whip shot up here, drop down and EMP choke, then immediately TP out and re-engage, you're available to follow up on your EMP without being in immediate danger.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So those are the sorts of EMP engages you're looking for. All right, Ball and Tracer, what are your guys' disengages so that you can get an engage again in 3 to 4 seconds?
Here, maybe.
Yeah, just a grapple to high ground. Ideally, where do you want to go, Traffic? You're half HP, you've used shields.
Oh, probably like their mega or our mega.
Yep.
Or the elephant mega. Any mega that Virgo's hacked, honestly.
Yep, that's the key. Whichever one Virgo's hacked, right or left side, because that guarantees you're going to get it and not somebody else on the enemy team. Right? That lets you re-engage hard. So Virgo, you're looking for one hack with either on left mega or right mega. Okay? Whichever side you scout out initially. Stunky, what is your disengage?
Recall.
Yeah, Tracer's is pretty simple.
Yeah, recall if I have it, or
Okay.
without using it, maybe get a safe blink or 2 out,
Keeping recall.
keeping the recall and keeping 1 or 2 blinks for if they engage on me.
Let's
or
say you
chase after me or something.
if you use 3 blinks on your engage, and then you recall out, and there's a Tracer with full cooldown staring at you, do you win that fight? It's-
I mean,
if-
maybe, but probably not.
Sometimes.
If you get hard pocketed, or one clip them, right? Yeah, you win. So what I'm trying to get at is you want to use minimal resources to engage when possible, kind of like Diva staging before she flies back to her team, right? You stand forward and then you fly back. With Tracer, you're looking to stage in a position where you only have to use 1 or 2 blinks to get in, but also where your recall position is a safe position. Relatively safe. Okay, good. Let's move to. This is gonna be such a fluid map for positioning. Are there any other questions, comments, thoughts you guys have on this map? Think are important to address that I've missed?
No, I don't think so. I think just like the default backline positionings are the most helpful things to keep in mind.
Clarification for myself, I guess. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I should be able to get in position to scout before supports are, like pretty far ahead of supports. And are the supports gonna be like, I guess, positioning based off of whatever I scout?
Yep.
Where I scout.
Yep.
And,
Okay.
we want supports just coming down, like straight down main until like call like enemies are, so they can decide between like.
Yeah. So they would. The supports would rotate. Let's do a rollout out of spawn and just see the timing on this.
Okay.
If you guys are up for it. So even if it's
Oh,
just
other-
you and me. So we come out of spawn, you probably translocate out of spawn. We're not gonna have a speed boost.
I'm probably here right now scouting.
Yeah, you can be scouting as well, traffic. You're a little bit faster.
I can basically be like in a spot to hear whether they come.
So I'm about here by the time you get to there.
Yeah,
So this is good.
call
Wh-
whether they come.
When we hit pillars, that's when the decision or scouting should have been made. Let's say we don't see them at all up to this point. Where are they probably?
Left.
Top left.
Yeah. So that's a pretty free scout, even if we don't actually see them. And we just rotate to opposite side. Okay, cool. Let's move, if we can,
Next map.
to the next map. It's gonna be a lot of the same if we're on village. Do we get the same map?
Wait, was restarting work or do I have to go back to the
Yeah, you have to restart works. Does it not? Are we just getting really unlucky?
Chance.
Can't you go to map settings and then turn off
Oh yeah, I can actually pick it.
map?
I forgot.
village?
Oh, we
let's
did get a
go.
different one.
Oh. So that was a 1 in 9 roll.
Okay.
I've never played Sombra on this map. This is
And you
This
never
map
will.
okay, good.
Just kidding, I don't actually know what we want to play.
Again, I'll pose the question. Same 3 compositions or TP Brawl with a May?
TP brawl. No, I'm kidding.
Brawl's
Alright.
pretty nice on this map, to be honest.
We can do
It's
fireball.
you get such strong positioning. The issue is if they have a Pharah composition. The Pharah ball composition should beat the TP Brawl composition nearly every time on this map.
Do
Yeah, you go
cheeky
here,
ball.
like this.
I think we could just do the ball pharmacy.
Yeah, I think we should open on Ball Pharmacy. What do you guys think?
It's good to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I expect the TP Brawl, I think, out of most teams at this stage.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I agree.
It's so dominant up until like this threshold of SR, right? I don't know if yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely see a lot of Sim Ryan comps.
Do you guys
But-
remember that team? Sorry, forgot. Do you guys remember
I
that
was just gonna say-
team?
Yeah, go ahead.
What like that beat us in the featured match? Did they run ball comp? Or did they run brawl?
I don't remember.
Pretty sure they ran ball comp, yes.
What did you say, Turtle?
Nothing important, just that I can't remember really scrimming or playing a match on this map, so I don't know what high level teams run. I mean, our level teams.
Where we are high level.
Relatively speaking.
Soon we're gonna be 4,400 scrimming and contenders, so you know.
Bro, energy. I lost like 150 SR last night.
I lost 300 on tank. I'm at 37-17.
Bro, we need to queue again
I'm
sometime.
gonna lose my mind.
I need to get my SR back.
Yo, let me quit.
I'm almost back to diamond.
Okay. Let's start on the pharmacy composition. If in scrims this week we run into the, like, let's look for maybe 35, 36 scrims turbo, because that's gonna be the skill level that we're likely to face in playoffs. Maybe even 37, if we're feeling crazy. Almost just to see what compositions they run, on these maps. Unless we have a scout, do we? Okay, if somebody has the link to the VOD of this team's last match, that'd be great, because I will look through it and do a double check on this stuff.
I don't think
Yeah.
that exists.
I
They
looked.
might have
I couldn't-
streamed it.
I'll find it.
Okay. So default open on pharmacy here. Exu, it's your decision between the Ana and the Zen. I think Ana may be stronger for the anti-nades on point. The Rhine Shield will only be able to point in one direction, and you can stage from a really aggro position on this close high.
Yeah. Couldn't we decide that when we have Farah, we should just have Ana, so we're not like,
Yeah. Let's move forward with
splitting
that.
carry.
Zen.
Been doing.
Yeah. So Ana, and then you just play for the nades on off angle or just above them. Our swap, if they're on an echo comp, would be towards the Tracer Sombra.
And Zen.
How does that feel?
Wait, what? You're asking us?
I'm thinking out loud.
Oh, okay. So
I'm sorry.
They're playing
I
an
was like-
Echo Comp. How does just straight up brawl? basically-
I don't think Echo gives them enough to beat a brawl. I think Farah's the
Yeah.
tool that gives you enough, right? So if we just
Yeah.
if we lose first fight and we hard swap TP brawl and just TP back to point and wall one of the sides off, we could just get a free retake, right?
Right.
And then
Yeah.
the damage I don't think would be there for their retake that easily, which gives us 50-60% on the point, and then we just blizzard to win the fight the next time. I think how does that game plan feel? Open on the pharmacy, if they counter us, hard counter us, and we lose first fight, we swap TP brawl and match point.
What if we
Yeah,
just have an
I like that.
unlucky? What if we just have an unlucky first fight?
If it's an unlucky first fight or they like run pharmacy and we're confident we can beat them in the pharmacy matchup, sure, we keep it.
Yeah. Good question.
What comp does count as?
It's the echo comp.
Okay.
That I should clarify. Extremely, if we play at a 300 to 400 SR higher, like skill level than an echo comp team, we'll still beat them with the pharmacy. But if we're at a close to same skill level, the echo's gonna pose a lot of problems for us. Okay. Rotations then are pretty clear on brawl, right? We've all run this point on brawl before, with the TP brawl. So if we need to make that switch,
Yeah.
everyone here is pretty comfortable with rotation, right?
Yeah.
TPing point when and where possible. If we have control of point, we set up a TP to high ground. I mean, it's pretty standard stuff. Don't get stuck on point, right? If we can find a TP onto their backline, we go for it. Exu is gonna be the one with the most nuanced rotation as we open on the pharmacy composition. A lot of it is reliant on scouting. So your goal, Exu, is gonna be where do you want to be on Ana against a brawl composition?
Well, God, for first fight or for
First fight.
hold on.
We open up. They TP to point.
They TP to point? Oh, then up here then.
Okay, up here. Let's say they rotate top left.
Oh fuck, not up here. Anywhere really but here.
I think.
Uh,
What do you think about this? where you don't really peek, right? So they don't know you're here if we've scouted Brawl. And you have a free rotation to high ground if we scout they TP to point. And they can't really play high ground the whole time if we've got point pressure from our D.Va and also spam from our Pharah. So you don't even have to peek, or you could peek and throw a cheeky nade and then just back up.
Right, I got you.
Or if they are top left, you like rotate main or something.
If they are top left, they have to go to point eventually. So Exu could like peek and look for a sleep or peek and look for a nade and then instantly back off. If they hard engage onto Exu there, that's like fine for us. Because Exu can just kite back towards the Mega and we get enough peel there in time to help. They're also just disengaging from point. Yeah, so you could almost bait and engage in that little room. Okay, yeah. Does that feel good, Exu? So you'd walk out top left side and then rotate towards bridge and then underneath?
Yeah.
The other option I have for you is walking main immediately and taking steps.
Yeah.
Because if they do TP to point, this nade angle is kind of nasty. Or even if you full rotate, they would not expect a nade to come from spawn side. I think either of those are good. Do you have a preference?
I think I'd rather stick over here.
Okay, cool. So make sure we get good scouting and tell Exu where he should be rotating towards, whether they're TPing or not.
Yeah, makes sense.
Any other questions on this map? Everyone feel pretty comfortable with it?
Oh, do I have? Because say they go brawl and they go top left at the very beginning, and like since they're all grouped up in top left over here, that'd be like perfect spot for me to
Oh, yeah.
through. But I don't want to do it head on. How would I get behind?
Your stage traffic, if they TP in speed, I'm curious if they can make it here before you if we amp out a spawn. Because if you can make it here and do a ledge slam, that's enormous. And then you just kite out underneath to Mega.
If I get an amp out of spawn, I can definitely make it here before them.
Yeah, I'm. If they TP, that's what I'm worried about. So
No, I feel like I. Okay.
they'll scout it. They'll scout it, but you can make it there. So your rotation is going to be top left in either situation. While Tracer or Sombra look for scout on their rotation. Even Tracer Pharah. So Virgo, you're looking as much as possible for their rotation in the sky. And Traffic, you're trying to stage here, or if they're scouted going main, you're looking for a roll through to disrupt this rotation right here.
Because they might be TPing to point.
They will TP out of spawn. They won't TP to point. We can.
Okay.
We'll scout if they're rotating towards point, but it's much more efficient to TP it and then amp out of spawn. So as they cross this, you should be looking for a disruption engage. If for some reason they do TP, then you're disrupting one or both sides of the TP.
Yeah, so like I could be here and then they go main, I just do something like.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
Stonky, do you have any questions or comments about your positioning on Tracer here? The Tracer rotations are a little wacky on this map at this point.
I guess.
Pretty much all you have to do is play from this high ground, and you double blink or single blink in onto targets, and then you recall to high ground.
Yeah.
That's your default
High
positioning.
ground when we dive or point when we go in.
Yeah, you can kind of be wherever.
I really want to test. Do you think? It might be a lot of work, but do you think we could get a Sim, Ryan, and Lucio on the other team, and then speed me out, spawn, and I just want to see if I make it there before them.
Okay.
Let's do
I
it.
mean, we can just sim Lucio.
Oh, true, true.
Something TP.
Let me go back and amp. Can you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
you peek me, traffic?
You guys get a Lucio for.
I will be the judge.
All right.
Okay, wait. Alright.
Call doors open, Exu. 3.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, fight.
You're done for.
Oh my god, you got here
You're
first.
dead.
Yeah.
No, I beat him.
Damn,
Man,
I did
he's
not. I
dead.
did not expect you to get there first.
So it was really
Holy
close,
shit, ball
but
is so fast.
That's crazy. Did you get there without being scouted? That's my
I
question.
didn't see him from my POV. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, turrets are unkillable. Because of
That's right,
headshot.
you're all dead.
But they can't headshot either. It's just gonna be annoying.
I can't headshot either.
I can't headshot either.
It's headshot only without headshots.
That slam right there is your default. And as Farah, if I'm like coming over, I should probably be around here by the time you slam.
oh
Like,
my,
That's,
Why
dude,
would you die?
that is.
That's killer.
that'd be insane.
That's like if you hit a direct and then the slam goes off, or vice versa, they're dead.
Hit the turrets. Get
Yeah,
them.
that's dead. Yeah, that's over 200 HP.
Cool.
How much
Yeah, I
does
mean-
the slam do? 50?
Exu's trapped.
It's dependent on how close you are, I believe, to the target.
100 max.
Yeah.
100?
100 in a direct.
How did I not know that?
Why can't I headshot you?
Yeah,
So
yours.
is that gonna be like our default rollout then? Like even if they don't go top?
Your rollout, Virgo, should be closer to center of building, because we want you to be. It takes you longer to rotate towards center than it does our ball, right? And if they TP and then speed towards point, they're gonna come from this side where I'm currently staged, right? So your angle will be from there, and then if you recognize the rotating spawn, all you have to do is drop down to your right, and you get 20, 30, 40% of your ult by just shooting directly down on them.
Okay.
Sweet. We can work on more of the nuances of this point in Scrum, I think.
Why are you hitting my head? I don't have a head.
Pretty cool. So yeah, and that, did you guys like, when you guys TP and speed, did you guys like go absolutely as fast as you possibly could? Like, was it like perfect?
It was.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's close. Shrine. Nope.
We want Sanctum. Come
We're
on.
playing Russian roulette.
I could just pick it, but
It's too much work.
it's supposed to be 1 in 3 odds, you know?
It's too much work.
So, like,
Next one is Sanctum.
Next one is Sanctum.
No, it's the one after this. It's one after this.
Eh.
oh, there's just like another.
Okay. So I have a proposition on this map, and
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
Only 1v5.
I'm getting a phone call. I'll be right back.
all right. So there's a strat that Moss's team ran at 4100 to 4200 that they won like 90% of the time and used it to win the Natter Overwatch tournament. They ran it in the grand finals.
I
They won
watched
that?
that.
Yeah, they won that
Cool. Yeah, I
that
watched-
tournament.
Oh yeah, I watched the last match.
It's
Roster, wasn't it?
it's
Also these
Sig, Bastion, Lucio, and I'll have to confirm the rest, but I believe it was a Rhine comp for the rest.
Yes.
Let me actually confirm the composition real quick.
So
But-
Bastion, and
So the idea
it'd be so funny.
the idea is
Yeah.
you speed your Bastion away from any engagement that they have, or the vice versa, where your Bastion just sets up with Sig guarding, and you amp your Rhine around to force them into LOS of your Bastion. Let me actually double check this. But the idea is you just hard pincer them between a rock and a hard place, with your rock being the Reinhardt and your hard place being the Bastion.
The
What about the rock is the ball?
Okay. That could also work. it's a cheese strat. Like it's not designed to be a long-term good solution, and if they know it's coming, it's not going to work as well. But no one expects an enemy team to run out on the Bastion on this map, and it could be a way to get a free win on a map.
Yeah. By the time they swap, we'll have like 80% or something.
Yeah.
So
Alright, let's do it.
Okay, I'm back.
I need to let me make sure I have the composition right.
It's called Bastion Brawl.
It's not a joke. It's not even.
It's not a joke, yeah.
You're serious?
Yeah,
We're
so
not joking.
Oh boy.
one of my buddies ran this to playoffs and won in playoffs using this strat. And I gotta double check it with him, but
Hey, your friend Bronze? What's going on?
he's 4,200.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's not 4,200, he scrims 4,200. Let's see.
So he's Bronze. Is that what
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much the same thing. Have you guys watched Bronze gameplay recently? You have?
Yeah.
It's
That's about
so...
it.
You do traffic?
Yeah.
Dang. I've thought about trying to get one. Not to do literally anything on. I would just stand there and spectate.
Well, it's like 1200. It's not like that bronze, but it's still pretty fun. Yeah.
They do some funny things. I don't know. That's where all the new metas come out of, though. That's where they try all the weird things.
That's where
bro.
goats came from.
Bronze?
I believe it. I believe it.
The workshop of bronze. Forged in bottom 500.
In bronze, they would never choose 3 tanks as healers.
Yes, they would.
Or DPS.
Oh no, not the healers part. You're right.
Okay.
They would never play.
It may take me a moment to actually find the specific composition, but I would like to try it tomorrow. It's not very complicated. The idea is you just have one team, one 3-person team with the Bastion, one 3-person team with your I think it's either a Rhine or a Ball, and you play Ring Around the Rosie, around the point, setting Bastion up. But it's going to take me a minute to actually confirm that.
So Sig Bastion honestly together, and then Lucio Ryan, right? But you said you
I'm
might
pretty
see
sure it's...
Bastion around Lucio.
I need to confirm. I didn't ever fully
Do they have
watch
a
the
bot of
strat.
that match still?
That's what I'm asking for right now.
Yeah, we could just try to duplicate it.
Is this cool with you guys? This is... we could immediately swap towards... I guess let's discuss what we swap towards. We get destroyed first fight. What do we swap towards? What do you guys think? Same compositions available that we've discussed.
Ball, like Sombra Bridge.
Bastion.
What kind of main tank do you look like on this point?
We need to stop laughing at this joke. She's gonna keep making them.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah.
I love it, traffic.
A lot of people play double shield here.
Yeah, I agree.
We always when we play good double shield teams on this map, we're usually playing something else and we lose to them.
The double shield that we run on Havana could work. I think we would run the Tracer instead of the Widow, Ashe, or Kree,
Yeah.
because you want some sort of point contest. So it'd be like Zen, Bap, Tracer, Hanzo, Sig, Orisa. Or maybe even Sombra. Sombra plays from point. I'm a little worried that we're putting Virgo in a position where he has to play Tracer in playoffs. He has a lot of pressure to play Tracer in playoffs and hasn't played Tracer in a couple months.
Not too sad, man. I used to think I was a chaser, man.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do great. We're gonna
Yeah,
face a lot
hello.
of pride in this Tracer. Even if he
Tracer
has
main
a
here.
lot.
Your Tracer is still very good, Virgo.
We'll have to see tomorrow.
Okay, let's fill it out in Scrim. believe though.
Yeah.
All right, so let's default back to a double shield Hanzo Tracer. It could be a Torb as well, Torb Tracer.
But I feel like we need the BAP double shield for sure.
Yeah, it's bad because of potential
Break
rush.
it out on him.
Yeah, get in the window every 2 seconds. We rewatched the VOD and you just hard diffed their Baptiste in match Thursday. It was good.
Exit?
You weren't expecting that.
That one in spawn.
Okay, I may just explain the strat at Scrim tomorrow,
Yeah, that's fine.
or if I get access to the VOD, I'll link it in Big Brain. You guys can take a look.
Can we just quickly do a double shield double shield tanks like space taking exercise?
That would be great. Traffic, you weren't there for this discussion, but we talked about how double shield operates to take space. Would you be able to go Orisa real quick? I'll just
Yeah.
talk about rotation, shield rotation, and taking space and stuff. So what is Turbo and Traffic? What is the biggest difference between double shield now and double shield 2 years ago?
How much health
I didn't
or
play this
shield
game on
have?
PC, seriously.
Yeah, Turbo wasn't around to be dominating the double shield. Yeah, it's shield health. Shield health is so much lower, which means you don't just get to AFK behind your shield, right? You actually get to have fun. So this let's take this corner as an example. You have full cooldowns right now. Both of you have full cooldowns, right?
Okay. First thing is not okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It was.
I'm sorry.
Like, the sooner we finish this, the sooner we can let everyone
Okay,
go.
yeah.
So we have full cooldowns, right? Both of you guys have full cooldowns, right? We don't have enough shield to just stand out in the open. So there's a 3-2-1 call, very similar to how you would call 3-2-1 for a rotation or an engage on Reinhardt traffic. It's 3-2-1, go, right? 3-2-1, I'm turning corner, and shield goes down. So Orisa's shield goes down first, and whatever's you deem is the best position for it, right? You call a pull target, and you pull that target, pull location, pull target, something like that. This is very reminiscent of how we would call a dive. You're turning corner, shield down, pull out, and you're asking for follow up on that pull. Your Orisa shield goes down. Orisa shield goes down. What happens next?
I pull someone.
Okay. What happens when shield goes down? Shield goes down. Sigma shield goes up. Do we let Sigma shield break?
No.
No. Sigma shield comes back, and Sig uses shift.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sig uses shift, and by that time we have Orisa shield again. Okay. Sig shield is healing. Orisa shield goes down again. Sig shield goes up. Okay. And when we need to hold space traffic, you will use gold. But you use your gold very sparingly in this composition. It's to hold objectives, to hold space, which we may need you to do. We may need you to gold and rotate towards point. When we lose that cycle, we start to go down in resources. So let's say we don't get Orisa shield in time, or we don't get Sig suck in time to continue that rotation of Orisa shield, Sig shield, Sig suck, Sig shield. If we start to run out of resources in that rotation, what do? Cover.
Did you say?
Are we able to use natural cover?
Yep. You rotate to natural cover, and you hard hold natural cover. Even before that point,
Yeah.
right? If you get the sense that you're down resources in the fight, you kite towards cover. What happens if you get the inkling that you're up resources in a double shield v double shield matchup?
We keep taking space.
Push them into the ground, right? Utilize your resources to push. So if at all possible, we want to be using our Sigsuck, our Orisa Gold to just hold W at them, right? And when we're at that resource advantage, we can take a lot of space. This is fight-defining space. If we can push them back to chokes like this, that is how you main tank and double shield. That's how you off tank and double shield. Does this make sense? So you're operating in a very cooldown dependent loop where if you go down in resources, you have a hard cover near enough to you, you can live. And if you go up in resources, you have enough resources left in the tank to push it. That's why gold is so valuable. You want to hold your gold traffic until you're up in resources and you can just walk at the other team. Got it?
And I think that again the mindset of playing cover to cover in general. Like
Yeah.
when we come out here to shield, we should feel uncomfortable standing here, but over here we should feel more comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same for squishies, right? The shields are like an enormous target you're painting for the enemy to shoot at. It's kind of funny how often a DPS will shoot at a shield and not at you, even if you're not behind the shield, right? So you could, I guess if you recognize this, you could bait with your shield and then peek around it, but that's very, very situational. So don't take that to heart so much.
I mean, what's the point of being what's the point of doing this if I could just be behind?
It's
the
not. That comment was more for your DPS players. Okay, you'll see DPS players. I can't count the amount of times I've had a Widowmaker peek on Havana defense away from a shield and die. You have a shield up on Havana defense and your Widow rotates to the next statue over and gets headshot. It's because your DPS are looking for a different angle that will give them a better, cleaner shot. Right? So that isn't necessarily for you guys. Does that double shield rotation make sense? You're always moving cover to cover and you're attempting to conserve gold and Sigma suck to push it. It sounds like Masa's may be available to explain it if you guys have time. No worries if you have to
Yeah.
go.
Is the Bastion Brawl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm down. So just real quick for the double shields. This is first cover to cover, right? Hopping out of here to here. And sometimes we'll want to go from this cover all the way up here. Right, traffic? How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Do we ever want to be on point? I feel like we should be on point sometimes.
Yeah, so I think when we're at this point, we either decide to push this way, or we'll, for whatever reason, we'll have to go to point. But going to point is hard, because we won't get
Yeah.
very far if they're shooting us.
We could gold and everything, and then once
Yeah,
we're
we'd have to
here,
get all the way here. This is like our next cover.
Yeah. Or unless we start here. But then I guess then
Yeah,
they have
but-
everything. Then they have everything.
Yeah, we want to contest that first. Yeah, this is like the first cover we get to, and then hopefully we can keep pushing forward. That's like the ideal situation.
What's up, Masa?
Yo.
Thanks for being willing to do this. I've been dying to try this strat out, so we're gonna
Oh my gosh,
we're gonna
it's
try
so
it out.
silly.
Can we group and spawn and make the swaps necessary? What is the composition? The full composition?
All right. Bastion, Bap, and Ritual.
This changes the map.
The Bastion is kind of the flex thing, and then Sig Lucio Soldier. And so, if you, let me find.
How do I choose the map one?
If you have a VOD, maybe that would be helpful
gonna-
too.
I'm gonna get on Stat Banana here real quick. How does it choose? Overwatch Stat Banana.
Step
Oh,
in
do they
.com
have-
slash images.
There we go. Okay, we need. Where the heck is? There we go. Nepal. All right. Hopefully this has the right one. Yeah.
I'm using my one meme comp coach card.
Let me change my. I don't have anything particularly nice set up for this, so I'm gonna change it to show with my cursor, because I don't have anything to paste over this. All right, we're gonna assume you start from this side, from the south end.
Okay.
Well, basically, the idea is this punishes ball comps by controlling both sides, but it does pretty poorly if your this plays in 2 units. It is pretty poorly if your second unit doesn't have time to make it around, and like a full 6 group of some sort of rush makes it onto your core. So typically you'll have Orisa play here, or maybe up towards the bridge.
Is everyone able to see this okay?
Oh, sorry, yeah, I should have asked.
Traffic, turbo.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, sweet. Go for it. Thank you.
Awesome. So bottom left, you have your core. Chill there. They're typically, for the most part, comms come through bridge. And so the risky situation is that they push through. You have your Lucio and your soldier and your Sig run straight here through the Mega on the right side. And the goal is to get behind them and pressure. It's pretty simple. You use pincer. The main thing is this map is, because it's just a rectangle, the enemy team, even if they were on dive, can't get behind your core, or like your moving frontline core. Like you can always see what's coming, and you cannot get pincered effectively. And because you push this out, because there are effectively only 2 lanes to this map.
No one wants to
you
stand on point,
deny-
right?
It's kind of, honestly, this thing is so fucking scuffed. I'll take your. We did it as needed.
Okay.
As needed. I would contest point sometimes.
Okay. You are
It's
the
just
Sig,
because
right?
Sig has a bunch of resources.
Okay.
The main thing this punishes is ball comps, because you deny that entire flank on the right side.
Yeah, you push out any tracer or
Yep. There's
ball or
unless they send a bunch of people over, you kill everyone. So, Bastion is kind of the typical silly thing we would we started with, just because it has absurd amounts of damage and pressure. But then we would shift to occasionally things like Torb, because our flex support had some pretty nifty. I don't know. He had some sort of like invisibility hack for his turrets. Kind of a god gamer.
Okay. And just to clarify, to everyone here, what SR did you guys play at? In
3.8 to 4K to like low, very low GM.
okay, and this worked.
Yes.
What percentage of the time would you say?
We won a lot. I think we lost once when I wasn't there.
Okay, so you're
We
just
had
saying it
another
was a
player
sig
coming in for
diff.
me.
Oh, okay, well,
I'm saying sometimes, even in the tournament where like it takes people knowing what's coming in and going in with like a rush comp, or just doing that actively on their own.
so how do
And
you
then your
counter
core
the
needs
rush
to
comp?
manage that. It's more absorbing and kiting back
While your sig and soldier
while
get
you're
in position.
Sigyn, soldier, and Lucio
Okay.
pressure.
Awesome.
You want to demand, like, draw enough resources. They can't really.
How do you guys feel about this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it might
It's
take
kind of funny
practice, but-
balance.
So one unit, the stationary unit, is the Orisa Bastion Bat, and
Yep.
then the mobile unit is
The
Lucio,
Sig.
and
And then this,
Soldier.
soldier, yeah. Soldier's
Oh, it's-
nice.
okay.
It's more about like the mobility and like Sig pocketing, or like being able to enable
Right.
things.
Yeah.
The healing is a little bit nice, just the boosted healing. I
Right.
imagine you could also go like a Hanzo. Tracer, possibly. Soldier's nice because you can
You have
push
such
a
good
little more
poke
range, like
angles.
you have, and the rocket splash with some of these lines where people with their back lines
Yeah.
will sit.
Who would we have on Bastion and who would we have on Soldier? Virgo and Stonky. Okay, so
You can probably go like Hanzo too, Hanzo Torb. Like there are a lot of options. It doesn't have to
and
be.
with the swap,
as
what is the
drastic.
swap for the comp? Is it Bastion towards Torb, and then you just play it like
it
a
was just
standard
Bastion
double shield?
swapping over to other things. We would still. We would just play it the same, just switching the Bastion.
You
over
just
for other
switch-
things.
Okay.
It is difficult to retake, right? Because you have 2 lanes here.
Yeah.
Like this.
It's
map
difficult
is
to retake
pretty-
anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like regardless
Yeah.
of composition.
So occasionally, like
You don't go coast every
Occasionally some,
time?
Sigma over here. Oh, yeah. I love getting moved. Occasionally we'd send like the Sig Lucio soldier over up here on the right side to try and pressure here, give us an option.
Give you some space.
If the enemies leave a door open, this is where it's starting to reach. I know the basics of how things work, but I am far from an Overwatch connoisseur or like macro knowledge player. I go and click on things and do what I'm told. For my end, it was more about feeling openings, where from their pressure and from their like defensive resources. Where could you walk? I played with the front line, so I can't really speak to the Orissa's decision making and how the backline moves.
Okay. Do you think
Envious.
the comp would work with Ryan instead of Orisa? In that slot. Remember, we're in playoffs, but we're in playoffs for 3,600 to 3,700 is probably the average of playoff teams.
You could like make it work. I've had like really smart players come from like off roles and make it work. It's just you don't have. I think it'd be kind of situational, and you don't have that extra poke.
Okay. Yeah, from the
Or,
Orisa
like, the
or
shield.
the
You don't have the shield you can throw up in the air and double up with.
the
It's
halt.
like-
The halt is also big, I'd assume.
Yep.
On this map.
A halt for
Okay.
fluxes, just
Okay.
for denial. Like
Awesome. If you do have a VOD at all, that would be
that's what
sick.
I was.
But otherwise, thank you so much for coming in and giving a quick demonstration of that.
Whoa, okay, yeah.
We should run it.
I will try and find something here. I'll try and look through our channel and find it.
All right.
There might be a VOD from the enemy's perspective, but they ran ball into us despite having knowledge beforehand. So
We've been running for a long time here. I don't want to intrude any more into any of y'all's Sunday evening. So I have nothing else. I will be doing that that defensive review of Rialto. So I'll let you guys know that's either going to be up as a VOD on my Twitch or up on my coaching channel. So I'll link that in Big Brain. But yeah, you guys are all free to go as long as Turbo doesn't have anything else or no one has other comments.
Yeah. Thanks for everyone for putting up this. It's kind of a little boring sometimes and drawn out.
Oh yeah.
For work.
I feel like I'm in Zoom.
We're in school for sure, but that's the commitment we need, especially for playoffs.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for sitting through this stuff. No, it's a lot.
First scrim every day this week.
We could double block. We've never double blocked before.
What if we
Scrim.
scrim Monday, Wednesday, and then be like, if you can, come and play comp like the Tuesday and Thursday. You know? Like, even though we kind of do that anyway. You know? I don't know.
Comps does not achieve the amount of learning you get from team play.
But
Especially
if we
you don't
aren't
have
able
six.
to get a full 6 for scrim, it could be good to just build synergy and like. If a scrim isn't going to happen.
Huh?
You really had to throw that one in there, didn't you? Synergy.
Okay, just know that anytime I say energy or synergy, it's not a pun. Okay, it's not meant to be a pun. I'm rebranding.
You wanna play with us on your alt, is what you're saying.
Okay.
I got you.
We're done. I got a question.
Yeah, you can go for it.
I mean, so it's about like what his scans I should be playing. There's a few, like I think Havana's the one where it's most obvious where I need to play. You know, but when we're playing the double shield, double sniper. I used to play a lot of the Widow, but I don't know. So I haven't really been playing much like hit scan at all, like at all. Since I've been so strictly on the Sombra para,
Yeah.
last few scrims I just felt my aim was pretty off. So I'm gonna try to put more time into hit scans. But with that, I wanted to ask like which hit scans I should focus on. Kree is the one that I have the most playtime with and I feel the most comfortable with. But I feel like the go-to or the one that everyone usually asks for directly is for Ashe. Should I be playing the Ashe or is the Kree fine? I notice like the range tends to be an issue sometimes with the Kree, especially on Havana.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. So, as we transition more towards, like, okay, if we put you on Tracer in at least 2 to 3 situations tonight, right? In our comp building. If that works, and you feel like you just slip back into the swing of things, because you were our Tracer player on Yikes, right? If you feel like you're slipping back into that, then that's always an option in that hit scan slot. The issue we're running into is that you're having to pick up a lot of heroes in a short period of time with school as well, and Stonky's Hanzo is just probably better at the moment, right? So we can't have you take on the normal flex DPS role, as you are our flex DPS, and just pick up one more hero, right? Because it would take a little bit to even grind up to the level that Stonky's currently playing at. But then the other option we have is for you to have to learn 3 heroes, right? The Ashe, the Widow, and the Cass, which is rough, though they are all closer to point and click heroes. At this point, if you can just focus on one of those 3 and get to a point where you feel you're comfortable in most situations playing the hero, even if you're losing some value, right? The Ashe pick is only so much better than the Cass pick if you're good on the hero, right? If you're missing shots on the Ashe or missing dynamites on the Ashe, it's better to just play the Cass and look for different rotations or ask for different shield placements from your tanks. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we lose the value that you would be getting in Ashe by your experience playing Ashe. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, no one has infinite time to invest in all the heroes. That's why people like Fleto or Rascal are so crazy and rare. They can play so many different things. Or Lip, or there are a few others. So there's no pressure, or it's not a bad thing that you're not able to pick up all of them at the same time. It's just reality. So I'd suggest picking one of those 3, Widow, Ashe, or Cass, and just grinding that, switching to that in scrims. Preferably Ashe or Widow, just so we have the range for Havana. Does that make sense? Okay.